Okay guys, welcome to ThinkTrek's video regarding transaction processing systems. In this video we're going to look at a reservation system, and in particular we're going to use Jetstar, and you're going to see why. Soon you're going to see some main features that most reservation systems have, but you're going to see how this website, much like most of the other airline companies, are very, very sophisticated in the way they do their planning and the way they set out their website. And first of all, let's start off with trying to book a trip from here to Queensland. So if we go straight to the homepage, which you can see directly in front of us, we're going to enter in our details like you would in any transaction processing system. So you're going to enter in your origin. So we'll leave from Sydney Airport. We'll then go to Gold Coast. Now you'll see how it automatically inputs it and automatically brings up the next text box or next entry box automatically. That's again great for user convenience. Okay, so let's go for a flight this Wednesday, and we'll come back, then we'll stay there till Monday. That way we've got a chance to stay there for a holiday, for example. Now, do we need to travel on this date, or do we want the lowest fare? So it gives the option here to select one or the other. So in other words, that's a Boolean value because you can only select one or the other. Similarly, up the top, you've got return, one-way, or multi-city flights. So let's go a return here, and you can see it automatically cleared out. When you go one way, it automatically clears out the value of a return date, because that way that's sort of that data validation already working. That way someone can't book two tickets if they only want a one-way ticket. Okay, so we'll put our date back in here. We'll say we'll go till Monday again. And now we've got to pick how many adults, how many children. So let's just pretend we've got one. Now let's find our flights. So we'll wait for this web page to load. Now, this is the first step in any transaction processing system. It has automatically collected and stored our details of the service that we want. And now what's the second step is it's going to show us the availability of our services, and it's going to hopefully then next step will be to reserve the service. So we'll wait for this website to load just to see how our flights are going. You can also see in the Jetstar website here, you can also see that packages and hotels are available in the tops here and here, and cars and extras. And that's an important feature of any transaction processing system, because it allows any user, to not only book flights, but to book other accommodation as well. And that will help in terms of meeting with other requirements that that a user may need, and it combines a lot of different transaction processing systems into one easy and simple unit. Okay, so this is loaded. Now what we can see in front of us is the available services, so times as well as flight durations, and then of course we've got prices. Now what it will allow a user to do is select here a date, so you can see when is the cheapest flights. You can then select the day that you need to go. It will then add packages, so you can change the package whether or not you want fee changes, or beverages or drinks, or checked baggage, or you want insurance or refundable fees, all the rest of it. So let's just stick with the basic flight as opposed to adding of these any additionals. We'll keep on moving down. You've got your terms and conditions there. Now, again, we'll book another flight back. So we'll say we'll come back in the afternoon. We'll go this one here. Again, same deal. Now, you'll notice that along the side here, you've got booking summaries, and that's similar for this one here. So what it allows you to do is just get a quick recap of how much you're going to pay, what's involved. And you'll notice throughout all steps of the processes, it's going to store and collect this information and update it every time. Down the bottom, step 3 here, you've got your booking summary giving you a quick detail of when you're returning, when you're flying, and the details of your flight, just to double check. Because one thing that you want to make sure when you make any transaction processing system is that you make sure that the user is double checking everything that they're doing. That way it prevents mistakes from happening and any unexpected charges or fees being laid. So yeah, that's what we've got to prevent, I guess. Okay, now this is the third step in any transaction processing system, and this is to collect and store customer details. Now, this is where we're going to input our username or our names here. So we'll put in our contact details. You can put a middle name in. Now you've also got Qantas frequent flyer, again, linking to another transaction processing system, another database over at Qantas. We'll just leave that blank for now. Do you require specific assistance? No. Baggage. Now again, you can add baggage and customize it per person, per flight. So importantly, however, and this is with most transaction processing systems, some companies will automatically add postage or automatically add, luggage or automatically add, insurance or something like that, meaning that a user will, without knowing it, be charged additional fees because they haven't gone through the steps. You can see that laws have recently changed, making companies like Jetstar compliant, making sure that they mention or note to the customer in a yellow text box here to say that they've automatically added it and to review your baggage before continuing. So let's pretend that we're going to, keep our baggage here at the same price. It's already been added for us. In terms of contact details, again, this is in case we can't make it to our flight. Oops. All right. Putting in email addresses. Now you'll see we've got to confirm our email address, and what that'll do is, again, validate the content, making sure that this is an exact replica of this as well. And you can note that. Let's try and do something wrong. Let's pretend we put a H in the middle here. You'll see it comes up orange and it'll say confirm your email address. So that straight away tells you that you've done something wrong. Now, an email address, particularly in a flight situation, is super important because if you have the wrong email address, then they can't send you your tickets, causing a major problem. Again, validation will happen here. You can see that right now, although I'm typing letters, nothing's going in the box. As soon as I type numbers, it automatically goes into the box. So we'll type in the correct number here. Okay. And then it gives you this option because you've got to continue to enter more details again. What we can do is copy mobile number to all fields. So by clicking on this link, it automatically enters the number here and here. That way, it's another process of validation. The user doesn't have to enter their phone number again and again, meaning the chances of them actually having an error is going to be reduced because that way there's less data entry, I guess, involved. So we'll enter, oops, typo here. Okay, see. And you can see that any fields that have an asterisk here and here, they're required fields. So you cannot pass the next step until you've actually finished that first step. Now, we've also got My Jetstar, which you can join for additional services, and then Club Jetstar again. And you can join those, but we're not going to worry about those. Now, in-flight vouchers, we can buy a food voucher if we want, whether for everyone or for individually, and that can go towards, buying stuff. And you get, 10% off, so instead of paying $5, well, you get a $5 voucher for $4.50. Likewise, $9 gives you a $10 voucher. Now, here you can view your terms and conditions, and although quite strategically, they place that in the bottom corner, hardly where you can see it. Similarly, throughout the website, you can see here as well. All right, so let's continue. Next step in the process is usually to collect and store payment details. But because this is a website for regards to flight tickets, our next step, which is loading now, is going to be that of booking our seats. So that way we have a bit of flexibility in terms of where we're going to sit. Again, yellow box telling us they've already charged us for the flight. So let's clear our seats, and that way we can do it from fresh. So on the flight from Sydney to Coolangatta, we're going to select our own flight. So let's pick a flight. Now it tells you here in the key that what your different flights are, whether or not you got up front, whether or not you got extra leg room. And here we go. Message boxes come up. If we need help, we can chat now to the staff member. Let's close that, but that's good service. That's great customer service to see that from the company. All right, let's now pick the first one. So it's automatically picked my seat to be here, but let's pretend we like a window seat and we want to be as upfront to the plane as possible. So we'll select this seat here. Still, maybe we have to deselect. Okay, so you can see now that we are having problems in terms of selecting seats. This is bad in terms of the flight for a user. If this is happening to a user, they can't adjust their flight seats. And now look, I'm locked out. I can't clear the seats either. So this is terrible in terms of a user standpoint. And if a user was stuck in this situation, they would definitely be in a bit of a hurry to try and get this to work, but it doesn't seem to work. Okay, now let's just skip seat selection. That way it doesn't charge us for it, because if a normal user was in this situation, they wouldn't want to pay for a seat that they didn't want. This then means that the customer is going to have to call up Jetstar, tell them their problem. So again, it's going to add a lot more extra money to, and a lot more extra services that Jetstar is going to have to cater for, because their transaction processing system isn't quite working as what they thought it should. Okay, now again, you've got travel insurance. So it's automatically been added as it's mentioned here, so let's remove that. Keep on going. Now, this is now when it's showing you how I previously mentioned how Jetstar's transaction processing system, their reservation system, you can see how sophisticated it is. Now, in this example here, you can see that we can automatically add to our booking parking pre-purchase. That is with another company with Sydney Offsite Airport Parking. So that's another company who's embedded their database into this reservation system. And you can, again, see that, Budget have also done it the same way, again, with in terms of car rental. And it automatically collects your date, your details, and all that sort of stuff. So it automatically allows you to enter and select a car. So let's pretend to select a car here. Okay, so it's loading the details. Okay, there we go. Automatically added the car, automatically done the reservation with the company, an external company. Again, another external company booking from Gold Coast Airport to travel in terms of getting passengers on board and getting travel to and from the airport. So let's pretend to order this again. Let's get a return one. Okay, we're going to have an adult here for $41. It tells you that. Okay, so we'll add the transfer. So you can see now that these transactions are occurring at the same time. And you can see, again, remembering on the side in our booking summary, it tells you everything that is involved. So you can see these are our flights. These are now additional extras, which is our parking, as you can see. Then you've got your car hire with which company, which car, where from, etc. And again, transfers to and from the airports. Again, adding up the total cost automatically on the bottom to come together. Let's continue. So next step now is going to be to collect our payment details and then to process them. And that's, again, another very important step. So we're going to start off, again, flying carbon neutral. It's automatically added it. We'll go no to that, thank you. And have we pre-selected an option for donations? So it automatically donates to their Star Kids charity fundraiser. Again, we don't need to worry about that, so we'll go no donation there. Then again, that's another external source, another external database being used in the Jetstar reservation system. So you can see that you can add donation amounts here and so forth. Okay, now this is probably one of the most important parts of any reservation system, and that is to pay for it. And what is going to have to happen here is that when I enter my customer details, it's going to have to make sure that A, the card actually exists, and B, that the process and transaction is occurring. And the user's going to want to know exactly what's going to happen straight away. That way they instantly know what's going on and they know that the transaction has been successful, or if any parts failed, what reason, how can they fix it, because they really need this flight, obviously. Okay, so by entering in card details, it's automatically going to sift through. And you can see that although I'm entering a dodgy credit card in, it doesn't exist. None of these have highlighted, showing that the credit card does not exist. That is a form of validation and verification. Now, let's pretend that we've entered in this preset MasterCard here. with MasterCard automatically coming up, and you can see that. Now you can also see that they charge a booking fee here, and then you'll have to continue and add it in all your dates, your card holders and your CVVs and whatnot in order to make sure you've got greater security. Again, pop-up messages come up in case you're unaware of what a CVV is. That's the 3 or 4 digit code at the back of the card as a security precaution. So that's to pay by a credit card. You've got other payment methods. You can pay by a PayPal, you can pay by Poly, which is a new online way to pay online, and you've also got Jetstar vouchers here as well. Next is, again, important information about your flight details. Then you're going to have to select the terms and conditions here to make sure. And quick flight summaries come up here. The amount due now is $377 as opposed to the total of $601 because the car hire, as you can see here, will be due at pickup. So that's the total now. Now we're almost at the final end. If and when a user correctly selects their user contact information, they click purchase. And what will then happen is a waiting screen will come up saying, please do not refresh this screen. And by having that please do not refresh, what that's going to do is make sure that the transaction occurs from start to finish all correctly, that the user doesn't interrupt that process. Because if they do, it might charge their account twice, or might not do it at all and might fail. So it's important that the user constantly is informed of what's going on. That way they know what or what not to do in each situation. So once they click purchase, they're all done. They'll get an email confirmation, and that's it. Reservation system's done. And you can see how many different reservation systems have all been embedded into the one Jetstar form. Now, unlike many other reservation systems, you can see this hovering user virtual assistant, which has been here the entire time. On every single web page, you have this virtual assistant. And it's one of the only websites, airline companies that have this at the moment. So what it is, if you click on it, a box will come up, and what it allows you to do is ask a virtual assistant questions. Now, although some answers are pre-responses and not really, sometimes they're very targeted to what you need. Other times it doesn't work very well. It's still a beta version, a developing program of what can happen. And it allows the user to ask questions. So here you go. You can click and drag it wherever you want to. So it says, hi, I'm Jess, the virtual assistant. I'm here to help you. So let's just see how natural it is by saying hi. And now this is an automatic response. So here we go. Hello, how can I help you with your Jetstar booking or question? Let's ask a question. Let's ask it, how can I pay for my flight? Okay. We offer a variety of payment methods. Click here to view options. So there you go. It automatically sends you. Something else might be, I have lost my itinerary. In order to resend your itinerary, I'll need to ask you a few questions. Are you a passenger or primary contact? Yes or no? If you're yes, then it continues. Just to confirm, have you already received it but need to be resent? Yes. So you can see how she's very intuitive. She asks you questions and does all these processes for you. And again, look, please give me your booking reference. You can type that directly in here and you can ask her about it. And then we'll just type in this dodgy one here and see what she says. You can see she's probably processing and thinking this isn't even a real number. And what email address? Let's do a dodgy email address and see if she picks it up. Let's see how intuitive this system is. Okay, so you can see that something's not going on correctly and whatnot. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm unable to resend your itinerary. Please contact Jetstar. So that's one important thing, though, that she is able to do, and that is that she can really present them with the give you the information. She'll allow you to contact Jetstar. So, unlike most transaction processing systems and reservation systems, most don't have that feature, that functionality. Nonetheless, it's a very important one, and it's very, very important there to see how, for a user point of view, that would be really, really great to have just in case you have any questions. And because it's a virtual assistant, it's available 24/7. So, Well, that's the end of the transaction processing system, how to use a reservation system, how to make a reservation, and showing you, the precepts, the steps involved, and the confirmation that's going to have to be required in the next steps. So yeah, you can see all those features. Now, we can finally see that overall, this is an online transaction processing system, an online reservation system, and more than ever have they become increasingly used and increasingly safer to use thanks to online payment methods, which are now a lot more secure and include things like PayPal, which are a lot safer than what they would have been a long time ago. So yeah, that's it. That's the video over. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to review the written content on our website as well, right next to this video, and it will supplement the two in terms of features and content, advantages, disadvantages, whatnot. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.